happens to be that we're in the middle of a heat wave. It's 105 degrees pretty much all week long, and Magicycle graciously sends me a commuter bike. It's a new bike that they have in their lineup. It's one of those bikes that actually does take a lot of pedaling to do. Well, anyway, I get this bike. We get it all put together on Friday. The garage is like 95 degrees when you see the assembly being put together. Next morning, my camera guy comes out. John is ready to go. 7 o'clock in the morning. It's already like 80 or 80, mid 80s. And I realize the bike is not charged. So what do? We, again, it's going to be a heat wave. We have to get out there. So I decide I'm going to do this video review with whatever's in the bike at the time. It's like 1 bar. And we have a few miles to go ahead, ride about 5 miles for the whole route that we're going to be taking a lot of this footage. 90% of this video, in fact, maybe even 95% of this video is run on either POS 1 or 0. There's a few segments where we hit POS 5 because of the inclines that we're hitting. A lot of it is either POS 1 or just on my own power. If you do see the speed that I'm going, the GPS tracking is actually on the commuter bike. It's not on the camera bike. It's actually the speed that I am actually going while pedaling this bike. Commuter bikes are awesome, and this is one of the reasons why I really like them. It actually turns out that this is a good testimony onto why commuter bikes have become so popular. If you are a regular rider that is also stealth, it really doesn't look like a e-bike. Because the way commuter bikes are designed, they can use a lot more of your power efficiently. They have so little drag on it, and the bike is less than 50 pounds. It's really light. Just wanted to go ahead and put that out before the video begins, because I think a lot of you will find it very interesting that this review is a little different. Anyway, let's get started in the video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the video. Alright, in this video we're going to be unboxing the Magicycle commuter, and then we're going to be taking it for a ride, checking it out. So let's get started. Okay, so this was probably one of the fastest unboxings I ever done on a bike. A lot of times you're going to have to put on the front wheels because to make shipping more affordable. The only thing I still have left to do is just put on the light. It's not an integrated tail light. It just comes on with a clip-on. I've already pumped up the tires, tightened up all of my screws, adjusted everything where they should be, and we're ready to go riding. Again, this is a 52-volt, 350-watt bike, which is very unusual for a commuter to have a 52-volt battery. Really excited to see what happens. So let's go riding. Okay, so this is the Magicycle commuter bike. It is a 52-volt, 350-watt single-speed belt-driven bike that actually has a payload capacity of up to 265 pounds. The other thing, doesn't look like an electric bike. In fact, one thing that you'll notice about this is that the only thing that probably gives it away as an electric bike is maybe some extra cabling here, and if someone looks close enough they'll see the display. But for the most part, Magicycle has done a great job in making it look more like a regular bike. So this is a commuter bike, which means you have a 700C tire in the front here. What that means is that it's a lot thinner than most of the time. So these are like road tires. They get pumped up to 75 psi, so you can make them really hard. I have them riding at about 65 right now because otherwise you'll fall every little bump. And it's also made for people that are between the height of 5'7" to 6'5". But as you can see on the ride footage that I have here, even at 5'5", it worked out fine. There wasn't any issue with me being on this bike even at my height. So you can go from 5'5" all the way up to 6'5" on this without any issues on that. Looking closer here to some of the specs that we have 180 millimeter disc brake rotors, both on the front and the back. I'm not familiar with the brand. Now these brakes, they do take a little breaking in the beginning. They were a little squeaky as I've been riding it. They've been getting better. In fact, right now they're, I wouldn't say silent, but they are pretty quiet. I don't have any issues with them now. They do stop pretty well. This bike also does come with the rack, as you see here. And actually everything that you see here, this is exactly how the bike comes. There are a lot of accessories that Magicycle does offer. I'll show some of those pictures with some of those accessories available to you on their website. It was a pretty easy bike to go ahead and put together. As you can see here, there's a front plate. I do believe this is where the motor controller is. The battery is then integrated in the tube here. It is not, from what I can see, easily removable, so it stays in the bike. One thing that's good about that is it keeps the bike, the battery from getting stolen. You have your charge port here, so I guess one small disadvantage is that you would have to have the bike put somewhere by a charger, but because the bike is so light, it's easy to take into an apartment, into a condo. It'll fit in an elevator, really won't take that much space, and it's actually quite light. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but I'm carrying one hand and I'm able to lift it right off the ground quite easily that way. The other thing that you'll notice too is it does have a center kickstand, so you don't need to lean it against anything or worry about it leaning over. I love center kickstands. The only thing that sometimes you might have to be very careful of where you're putting it down, because if the ground is slanted, you have to make sure you compensate for that a little. Moving to the other side of the bike here so we can see, we do also have the quick release here. So you can remove the tire if you need to go ahead and put this in the trunk of a car and it's too wide. Very easy to just pop that off and put it back on. These fenders, another thing I like about the way they made these fenders that does come with the bike too, is that these have adjustable fenders. Sometimes you have these solid fenders on other bikes, and when they start rubbing the tires, it's really hard to adjust. With these, very easy to make sure that if it starts to rub on your tire, you can just make a simple adjustment and it does go right back into a center position for you. You do have Presta valves here on your rims, so that's something to keep in mind as well. If you don't have a pump that's a Presta valve adapter, you will need to get one of those, but those are pretty common, easy to get as well. This rack here is pretty solid, but it's made for pannier bags. That's why it's more of a commuter style. It doesn't have a rack that goes across the top, but this is a very solid rack for bags if you're going to need just a groceries carried on the back side of it. With the 350 watt motor, it has enough power to do what it needs to be done. But what's more impressive is that this is one of the first few bikes I've seen that has 52-volt battery powering a 350 watt motor. Now it also has only a single speed, so you don't have to mess around with gears. That also makes it very quiet when you're riding and smooth, really smooth. So that's another part of this. You have all the makings of a solid bike with a motor in it. And check out this paint job. This is something that I'm going to turn the bike a little so that the sun is hitting it directly, and then I'm going to come on this side so you can see. But it has a metallic yellow, so it kind of glows in the dark, and I didn't know that it was going to look this way. They asked what color I was interested in picking up, and they have a black and a blue and the yellow, and I thought, the yellow just in the pictures and the images looked really cool, so I thought, let's go ahead and check out this yellow. And I'm shocked at how pretty this thing just kind of sparkles. It's really quite neat. It looks like possibly a 12 magnet sensor, maybe even more. Yeah, it has lots of sensors for your magnetic cadence censoring back there too, so that's pretty awesome on there. The saddle here, like most commuter bikes, I'm going to say it's not a super soft cushiony bike. This is a bike that's made for people who kind of want to pedal and you just want an assist to get there a lot faster or to go a lot further. That's what you have. Saddle that's thinner so that it's a lot easier for pedaling to be done, but it's not uncomfortable where it's solid. As you can see, that it does actually have quite a bit of cushion on it too, and that is really a nice feature. Riding down to this location here, no problems as far as any discomfort. This bike does come with an integrated headlight, but it does not come with a tail light. So they do provide one that is detachable. I did not bring the detachable tail light, but one can be easily clipped on there. That does come in the box. So you do have a blinking light for people to be able to see you from behind. And the headlight is not really going to light up the road in front of you for visibility of you being able to see the road, but it does come with a light that is there for others to see you coming. So it's for your safety to be seen by other cars. And Magicycle putting their label kind of in a discreet area underneath the bike, which is kind of cool too, especially the way they designed it so that it's silver. I like that a lot.